What is going on, everybody? It is Josh with ABS Fitness here to do what was supposed to be a live Q&A. I know I had mentioned that I had wanted to do this week. I was going to do that, but I ended up kind of wanting to set the camera up and actually do like a video today. So today I'm going to cover my workout today, and we're also going to go over sort of my post-workout regimen. We're going to talk about a couple myths, some bro science, whether it's true or not, and see if you're really getting the most out of your post-workout meal. So everybody has their own preference. Actually, ideally, if you want to eat like a larger meal of carbs and protein, that would actually be something great to do post-workout. As much as you don't want to think about it, whey protein does not have to come immediately after you work out. Everybody talks about sort of the anabolic window and stuff like that, which has already been proved isn't necessarily true. If anything, that's probably the one bit of bro science I have clung on to. I don't think that I need food or protein immediately after I work out to necessarily recover, but it is good. So again, that's for me to feel better, not necessarily for science. There have been some studies that show that a mixture of carbohydrates and protein immediately after training within I think 90 minutes is sort of optimal, but that's not to say that if you eat outside of that you're going to lose everything. That's a myth. So anyway, so I'll start going here. I like to do a shake and then like a small something else. So I recently made the switch to almond milk recently, not for any real particular reason, just for the sole fact that sometimes if I have a lot of dairy products, I've struggled with acne in the past, and sometimes if I increase my dairy intake or I drink a lot of milk on a certain day or week even, I'll start to break out on like my face and my back. And this stuff actually tastes pretty good. So this is the Blue Diamond Almond Breeze, just the original. There is even like an unsweetened with less calories, but I like to have just the original because it tastes better and it's a little more carbs. So that's what I do for my base, I guess, if you will. The protein I'm currently going through is this gazillion-pound bag from My Protein. One thing that I would recommend is, number one, do not buy a big bag of this unless you know for sure that you will like the flavor. One mistake I kind of ran into was I always get chocolate. I'm always chocolate everything, and I decided to go off the beaten path and try cinnamon roll, and it's nasty. It's okay. Could be better though. One thing I would also say, this is, if you guys haven't heard of My Protein, they're online only. They're based out of Europe. They now have a US website, but they're fairly priced on most everything. So I looked up a lot of their proteins on Labdoor. If you guys ever want to look up quality or like lab tests for certain supplements, Labdoor is a decent place to go. Their stuff scores pretty well. The only thing I regret is I just got their standard protein. I would definitely get like their isolate or something that's a little cleaner. For me, I was just going for price, and this is what the sale was on, so I just got the regular. So I do 2 scoops of that. So we got, set this down here. So I got the 2 scoops of My Protein. I did 10 ounces of this. Sometimes I do 12, but my shaker cup's a little smaller. This is something, I'm not necessarily using this to recommend it. I actually got this for free from a friend of mine. They had this and it was going to expire soon and they wanted me to try it. So this is called BioGrow. It's made by Isatori. Isatori makes other pre-workout amino acid protein products. It's a supplement company. If you guys ever follow like Nick Wright on YouTube, he was sponsored by them. I think now he's with BPI. And I think Brian Shaw might have been with them. I'm not sure if he is anymore. But this is called BioGrow. So I'll be 100% honest with you, like the exact method of this supplement I'm not super familiar with, but the idea behind it is it increases sort of protein synthesis. The way I understand it is it sort of helps you use your protein better. So again, me using this, I'm not really I guess, supporting this. This is just something I've been trying. I've literally been taking it for less than a week. You go through it really quickly. The scoop is really small, but it's 3 scoops in the morning, 3 scoops at night. I just do it with my protein shake or with a meal. This is unflavored, so I mean, there's only 90 scoops in this, so as you can imagine, this goes by pretty quickly. I don't intend on continuing this per se unless I have a crazy experience with it, but I've been throwing it in. So I got the 10 ounces of almond milk, the 2 scoops of protein, my BioGrow, and then my little thing on the side is just going to be a banana today. Carbs are important. As much as maybe people don't want to talk about it, now obviously if you're on like a low carb or a like a keto diet or something, maybe more carbs isn't for you. However, as far as from a performance standpoint, post-workout carbs are just as needed, if not sometimes more, particularly for endurance athletes. If you're an endurance athlete, I mean, there are endurance athletes on ketogenic diets and low carb diets, like it's a thing, I'm not saying it's not, but for the most part, as far as current research and stuff goes, carbs are almost more important than protein after you work out. So if you're like a marathon, triathlon, long distance cycling, endurance kind of athlete, you definitely do not want to skimp out on the carbs post-workout, or even pre-workout, or intra-workout, depending on how long your workout is. So for me, the focus is protein, but I find that I feel a little bit better if I mix in carbs. And post-workout meals are better if there's a good blend of protein, carbs, and even a little bit of fat. So for me, this combination sort of, it's pretty solid for me. So I get roughly 40 grams of protein, and about the same, like 35 to 40 grams of carbohydrates, depending on 10 or 12 ounces of almond milk. And that's the protein shake and the banana, all right? I don't like to do a crazy amount of protein at one time. I definitely like to spread it out. So I've definitely seen some people do like 3 scoops of protein in a shake, and then they'll have like a small meal on the side. My body feels better when I break it up. And as far as meal timing and frequency, most people do better with smaller doses of protein throughout the day. Most people don't just eat like 120 grams of protein at once and that's their protein for the day. So like I said, I'll get about 40 grams of protein, 40 grams of carbs, a few grams of fat with this. But here in like less than a couple hours, I'll probably have a substantial meal of like eggs. I usually eat like 3, 4, 5 eggs a day. So this is definitely followed up with a meal pretty quickly. And like I said, you don't have to do your whey protein right after you work out. Sometimes if I'm really hungry, I'll just do a meal when I work out, and I'll do the protein shake later, okay? Yes, whey protein is easily absorbed and digested by most people, and it is a good source of recovery protein, but having your eggs, chicken, or steak, or if you're vegan or vegetarian, having your quinoa, soy, whatever, after you work out instead of your powder protein, you're not really hurting anything, okay? So that was sort of my post-workout recovery process. I'll probably wait till I finish this video to start eating this. I also like to shake this up a lot. There's a lot of powder. Surprisingly, 2 scoops of protein in BioGrow does actually mix pretty well in only 10 ounces of almond milk. Wouldn't really think so, but it's not bad. So I'll go ahead and right now I'll do kind of what I would do as if I was doing the live Q&A. And if you guys have any questions or comments on the workout or anything in this, just comment below or email us and I'll get back to you when I can. I do apologize too, the lighting is not the best in here. I think there's another light. Okay, well that did nothing. So today was upper body, and I have been considering / am in the process of kind of changing up my routine. So for those of you that haven't watched some of the recent videos or been involved in the Q&As within the past month or two, I've been on a very steady 4-day-a-week upper-lower split, very basic. So I do 2 upper body, 2 lower body workouts a week. Very much, this is probably the most powerlifting geared routine I've ever been on. And simply for the fact that it's not a ton of volume in a sense of repetitions. Volume-wise, as far as the weight being lifted, it's more than I've ever done. I've never done anything geared towards powerlifting this much, and it's definitely showed. I've gotten a lot stronger, especially on my bench press. My squat and deadlift have been consistent or improving, despite not being in like a huge caloric surplus. So I haven't really been trying to gain weight, but I've been feeling good, I've been feeling stronger, especially in the main lifts. The drawback of that is I'm not doing a lot of reps. So most people, unless you are a die-hard powerlifting only fan and that's all you're there for, the numbers and the stats, most people like to get a pump in the gym, you know? And that's definitely something that hasn't necessarily been lacking for me, but there's just something really good about doing a really solid hour workout that is, you know, it's lower weight, but it's high reps, you're busting out, you feel good, you feel full. And I just haven't had workouts like that in a while. So why not, you know? I was sitting here thinking about it yesterday, like, why have I not done that? And that's simply because, like I said, the routine I was doing was going for me. I don't really plan on changing the routine up that much. However, today, when I did upper, I did definitely do a little more of a bodybuilding. I hate using the word bodybuilding because I'm clearly not a bodybuilder, but it was more bodybuilding style. So today was technically the heavy day on bench. However, I ended up going alone. I didn't go with a gym partner, my wife. So I didn't have a spot, so I didn't want to go too heavy. So I ended up doing flat bench press. I did like 4 sets of 6 with 185. It was it was clean is the word I like to use. I wasn't dead at the end of it. I wasn't fatigued. I was tired. But again, like it was more about the volume. So I know, you know, 4 sets of 6 doesn't sound very high volume to you guys, but I'm sort of easing into it. And you have to remember too, when you do that, sometimes you kind of have to leave your ego in the car. You know, I can't just throw on 225 and do them for a few sets of 3 or 4 and be done because I'm trying to get that higher volume. So after flat bench, my goal today was just a lot of volume and repetition. So I did a lot of different exercises in a short amount of time. Luckily, the gym I go to here has a lot of hammer strength equipment, which is very good. One of the best brands in my opinion, right up there with like Rogue. And they had a lot of hammer strength machines, so there was the decline and incline hammer strength machines. I did the isolateral lat pull down machine. I did the seated lat pull down machine, preacher curl, tricep extension. I really like too as well. So the tricep extension, you can use like the cable or the rope or like the metal V-bar. I actually like taking the rope and putting it on the bottom if you guys have that option in your gym and doing curls. And when I do them, you can either do them like a straight hammer curl or you can like curl at the top if that makes sense. So it's a rope, so it's flexible. And I get a really good squeeze out of curling at the top like that. Usually I use that as like a finishing exercise. Like at the end of my workout, I'll just like burn out with that. So it was, I mean, just 60 straight minutes of high reps, definitely lower weight, but it just felt good. You know, it was good to get one of those workouts in. So needless to say, I will probably be incorporating those more than I have in the past 3 or 4 months. Really ever since January, actually, I've kind of been on this same workout routine. But when you're only going to the gym 4 days a week, you know, to me, I'm used to like 5 or 6. So recovery-wise, it's great. And like I said, my strength has been going up, but I've sort of been craving that bodybuilding style split again. So I'll probably go back to that. Luckily, the gym wasn't too busy today, so I kind of had my pick of the machines and the equipment. But it went very well. So if you guys have any questions about my current routine or older routine or what I'm sort of looking for, like I said, you know, comment down below. I'll probably do a live video tomorrow or next week, just to start getting back in those, because it seemed like you guys enjoyed that. I've gotten some good feedback on that. So I am about to have my post-workout banana and shake. If you guys have any questions about the post-workout, leave a comment. I am by no means a dietitian or nutritionist or anything, but I like to think I know a little bit. So there's a lot, you know, like I said, there's a lot of myths that people buy into that aren't necessarily true. So if you have any nutrition-related questions, leave those too, and I will do the research or let you know my opinion. You guys have a great rest of the week.